Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 241 based on novel. So let's start. Blood God didn't hesitate to explode into a large mist of blood and use blood escape along with the demonic shadow behind him. On the outside, all of the tentacles fell from the moongazer serpent and turned into countless smaller moongazer serpents. This made the surrounding old monsters all gasp. Master Flamespark's eyes lit up and his hand formed seals without hesitation. The countless fragments immediately surrounded the area. At the same time, Master Flamespark let out a roar, and waves of mysterious power spread. Every single fragment was filled with power. The fragments surrounded all of the moongazer serpents and rapidly rotated, forming a huge vortex. The red-robed old man waved his sleeves and the octagonal formation collapsed. It turned into countless smaller formations that trapped each moongazer serpent. Then the red-robed man flew high up, formed a seal with his hand, and divided his mind to enter every single formation. The four boys circled tightly around the moongazer serpent as the red core continued to seal the moongazer serpent's path. The Li Yun's eyes lit up. Holding the silver sword, he went past the blockade and closed in on the countless smaller moongazer serpents. He was so fast that he had often already attacked by the time the silver flashes occurred. However, none of these attacks had any effect on the ancient god finger created by the angry moongazer serpent. The countless ancient god fingers that condensed shot out everywhere. Boom, boom, boom. Thundering rumbles echoed. The ancient god finger formed by the main moongazer serpent landed on the blockade formed by the four boys. One of the boys' face immediately turned pale and he coughed out a large mouthful of blood. Cracks appeared on the red core on top of his head and a red mist quickly spread. At the same time, the face of another boy on the opposite also turned pale and his body weakened. However, there was a red flash on his head that eventually charged out and entered the red core above his head. The moment the red light left the boy, his body suddenly collapsed. The red-robed old man created countless octagonal formations, but they all collapsed under the impact of the ancient god finger. Blood came out from the corner of the red-robed old man's mouth. Master Flamespark's eyes were bloodshot. He let out roar and his hand formed a seal that caused the celestial realm fragments to expand. It was as if the thunder celestial realm had appeared here. At a glance, it seemed like the moongazer serpents were surrounded by the celestial realm fragments. Thunder connected the fragments to each other, locking the moongazer serpent inside, and the fragments began to contract. At this moment, the entire northern domain was trembling as if space itself was going to collapse. Fellow cultivators, help me seal this beast. Master Flamespark's voice was like thunder. His arms stretched out and the veins on his face bulged as he used all of his power. A trace of returning to the origin appeared from Master Flamespark's body. Although it was only a trace, it caused the moongazer serpent to panic. It remembered that in its memory from long time ago, the terrifying voice that warned it also had this aura. Except that voice's aura was even stronger. The moongazer serpent remembered the terrifying feeling of that voice after feeling the aura from Master Flamespark. It remembered that when it felt that aura, it was as if it had gone back to its life within the ancient god's body, where it lived without consciousness. Fierce roars came from its body. Then its large body moved like crazy and a strange voice came from its mouth. All of the ancient god fingers from the smaller moongazer serpent started to gather before the main body. These countless ancient god fingers fused together. The ancient god finger before the main body was no longer illusory and looked real. Complete with the rough skin with cracks that looked like runes, a corporeal ancient god finger appeared before the moongazer serpent. The finger pressed down along with the roar. The three boys before the moongazer serpent weren't able to resist at all, their bodies all exploded. The red cores above their heads also shattered, creating a large, red mist. The blockade disappeared and a large number of moongazer serpents rushed out. The Shengong family ancestor stepped forth with his body filled with thunder. A large number of thunder dragons appeared to stop the moongazer serpents. It was as if the entire northern domain was shaking as the rumble echoed across the stars. The space within the area began to collapse. Even the blockade formed by the messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple 50,000 kilometers away were affected. A gap appeared, but it was quickly filled up by thunder. At the same time, the ghost formed by 5-color Daoist rushed in and began its attack on the Moongazer Serpent. The black-robed middle-aged man followed closely after the 5-color Daoist. He turned into a large eagle and opened his mouth to spit out a bell. This bell was illusory and it shrouded the large eagle. As the eagle charged out, the bell began to ring. The sound from the bell contained a very strong power. As it echoed, the collapsed space became more intense and was pushed directly toward the Moongazer Serpent. However, these attacks immediately collapsed in front of the almost corporeal ancient god Finger. The first one to confront the ancient god Finger was the Zhon family's Li Yunzi. The moment his silver sword and the ancient god Finger made contact, popping sounds came from his body. He coughed out blood and was knocked back. However, after flying back 100 feet, Li Yunzi's eyes were filled with anger. He no longer retreated and instead rushed out again. His cultivation level was very high, so he didn't die under the ancient god Finger, but his origin soul was damaged. The ancient god Finger didn't stop and continued forward. The red-robed old man let out a roar and turned into a blood cloud that fused with the formation. The red octagonal formation collided with the ancient god Finger. Just at this instant, the ghost formed by 5-color Daoist closed in. The moment it got near the ancient god Finger, it collapsed into large, black fog and diffused across the finger, attempting to devour it. The Shengong family ancestor didn't pause. His hand formed a seal and pointed between his eyebrows. The countless thunder dragons quickly condensed into a bolt of thunder 100 feet thick. It moved at a speed too fast for the naked eye to capture and collided with the ancient god Finger. The black eagle formed by the black-robed middle-aged man didn't stop. As everyone's spells collided with the ancient god Finger, he also charged forward. The bell rang when he collided with the ancient god Finger. The power of an attack from 5 people at the peak of the All-Heaven star system could easily destroy a planet. It wouldn't even be difficult to destroy the northern domain. At this moment, their spells formed a vicious storm that could destroy the void. This storm was too strong, even the expressions of the messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple 50,000 kilometers away changed. Some of the ones that were only at the illusory yin immediately turned pale and blood came out from the corners of their mouths. This storm directly collided with the almost corporeal ancient god Finger. Boom! A thunder roar that echoed across the entire northern domain echoed. Li Yunzi was dyed red as blood sprayed from his body and he was mercilessly thrown far away. The black-robed man's eagle collapsed and was knocked away. Cracking sounds came from the Shengong family ancestor. His face turned pale and he coughed out blood as he quickly retreated. The red-robed old man's octagonal formation collapsed and he looked weakened. He staggered as he retreated, and there wasn't a trace of blood on his face. The one that was injured the most was 5-color Daoist, who had the weakest cultivation among the 5. After his spell was broken, popping sounds came from his body and he constantly coughed out blood while he rapidly retreated. The 5 of them were all seriously injured. The ancient god Finger also collapsed under the combined power of the 5 people's spells. The collision of these spells created a shockwave that spread like crazy. The rumble continued to spread as space collapsed. The area within 50,000 kilometers was immediately affected by this shockwave. The few abandoned planets immediately shattered. The messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple 50,000 kilometers away all coughed out blood. They could no longer maintain the blockade and were all blown away. Further away, the 2 blockades formed by the black and red-robed cultivators were also affected. They all became pale and quickly retreated. At this moment inside the Moongazer Serpent, the ancient god before Wang Lin trembled violently as the tentacles devoured him like crazy. Another star on its forehead suddenly collapsed. After the star collapsed, a large amount of the power was absorbed by the tentacles, but the ancient god's eyes revealed a strange light and he began a complex chant. A portion of the power was taken and formed a very simple transfer array. My clan member. Quickly go. Bring my real clan member here. Wang Lin silently pondered as he looked meaningfully at the weakened ancient god. Then he stepped into the transfer array and disappeared. The moment Wang Lin disappeared, countless tentacles appeared from the void and entangled the transfer array, causing it to collapse. Using Li Yunzi and company's help to obstruct the Moongazer Serpent, Master Flamespark closed his eyes and shouted, "Seal!" Countless celestial realm fragments rumbled and then closed in on the Moongazer Serpent from all directions. As the Moongazer Serpent let out an angry roar, its whole body rushed out. Anger filled its body, and the danger it sensed from Master Flamespark almost made it go insane. As it slammed into the celestial fragments, the Moongazer Serpent suddenly stopped. Its eyes were filled with fear as it looked ahead. The place the Moongazer Serpent was looking at had already collapsed. As endless cold winds blew out, a person walked out. This person was extremely blurry, it was impossible to see what he looked like. The only thing one could tell was that he was male. He was extremely calm as he slowly walked out from the void. The moment he appeared, the expressions of the seriously injured Li Yunzi and company changed greatly. Even with Li Yunzi's arrogance, after looking at the person for a moment, his heart was shocked. At this moment, his eyes revealed respect. It's him. Master Flamespark actually invited him. The remaining 4 people's expressions immediately changed and became respectful. After the illusory person appeared, Master Flamespark's eyes were filled with ecstasy. The figure walked toward the Moongazer Serpent. The Moongazer Serpent's large body trembled as if there was an aura from this person that made it terrified. The Moongazer Serpent slowly backed up. At this moment, millions of kilometers away from the Moongazer Serpent, Wang Lin's body appeared. After he appeared, he immediately looked back and began to ponder. There must be a reason for the Moongazer Serpent's huge change. Could it be that someone launched an attack on it? The ancient godchild inside the Moongazer Serpent wants me to bring a successor, but unfortunately my original body is still in the Alliance star system, otherwise it would be worth a try. However, I don't know if he is being sincere about the inheritance or if he wants to use something similar to a cultivator's possession spell. I have to be careful on this matter and not act recklessly. However, since I have already left the Moongazer Serpent, I believe no one will be able to detect me for a short period of time. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he turned into a ray of light and flew away. Ripples appeared under his feet and, not long after, Wang Lin merged with the world and disappeared. In the northern domain far away from the Moongazer Serpent, almost at the other end of the domain, was where planet Qingling was located. On this day, a ripple appeared outside planet Qingling and Wang Lin walked out. He looked at the familiar cultivation planet before him and revealed a hint of melancholy. I'm finally back. Wang Lin took a step, turned into a ray of light, and charged toward planet Qingling. However, just as he got near, several powerful auras swept toward him with hostile intent. Wang Lin frowned but immediately relaxed. Those divine senses immediately locked onto Wang Lin, but after recognizing him, they immediately dissipated. Then more than 10 figures flew like meteors toward Wang Lin. At almost the instant Wang Lin stepped onto planet Qingling, more than 10 people from the chosen immortal clan appeared. The old ancestor immediately moved forward. He became excited after seeing Wang Lin and said, "Benefactor?" Wang Lin looked at the old man and the chosen immortal clan members and asked, "Was the road here smooth for you guys?" The old man took a deep breath and said, "Benefactor, the road was smooth. However, on the way here, we heard that a Yao family in the All-Heaven star system started a hunt for Benefactor." Wang Lin shook his head. "That matter had already passed, don't mention it again. Since you guys are here, settle down. I need to go into closed-door cultivation for several months, protect this place well." The old man quickly nodded. Wang Lin's body flickered and he no longer paid attention to the chosen immortal clan. He teleported to the top of Henyun Peak. It was still as he left it, the cave was still there. After entering the cave, Wang Lin immediately opened the formations. The area around Henyun Peak was immediately sealed. Then he sat down, closed his eyes, and started cultivating. Several hours later, the outside was already night. The starlight fell on the earth and everything was quiet. When the moonlight came in through the entrance, the light reflected off the ground and was very beautiful. Wang Lin opened his mouth and let out a mouthful of foul air. Ever since he left for the celestial realm, he had been extremely tired. Even when he was inside the Moongazer serpent, he was barely able to relax. However, at this moment, on his own cultivation planet, Wang Lin was able to completely relax. Right now he looked up at the sky outside the cave and began to ponder. After a long time, Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and muttered, "The Yao family's hunt won't stop, I don't have much time left." As he pondered, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and a large furnace appeared. It gave off an ancient aura. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he spat out a mouthful of essence origin energy that surrounded the furnace and began refining it. The longer I refine the furnace, the more power I will be able to use. However, right now I need to study it well. Wang Lin inhaled and the large furnace immediately shrank. Eventually, it turned into a ray of light and was swallowed by Wang Lin. The shadow behind him flickered and Tarshan walked out. Tarshan was seriously injured and his gaze was bleak. After sitting down, Tarshan closed his eyes. Under Wang Lin's command, he began healing himself. After pondering for a while, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and Yao Bingyun, who was sealed by him, appeared before him. The Karma whip wrapped around her origin soul and the soul flag wrapped around her body. There were even hundreds of thousands of golden runes sealing her. Looking at the sealed Yao Bingyun, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his right hand formed a seal. The golden runes around her immediately rose one by one and dyed the cave in their golden glow. Under the rune symbols was the soul flag. Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the black mist surrounding Yao Bingyun's body left, thoroughly exposing her body. Her clothes were currently in tatters and she looked very attractive. Her eyes were closed and her face was ashen. It was as if her life could extinguish at any time. However, there was still a large amount of origin energy inside her body, but it was separated and couldn't merge with her origin soul. Wang Lin stared at Yao Bingyun and began to ponder. Refining this woman into a celestial guard is a choice, but before that, I need to borrow her power. Wang Lin's eyes became cold as he raised his right hand and pointed to between her eyebrows. The origin energy inside Wang Lin's body quickly activated and entered her body through his finger. Wang Lin's origin energy formed a vortex inside her body. The vortex immediately absorbed some of her origin energy, making itself bigger. Wang Lin was extremely cautious while the vortex absorbed more origin energy. Just as he was about to lose control of the origin energy, he suddenly pulled it out. Yao Bingyun's body suddenly shook violently and her broken clothes were immediately blown away. At the same time, the vortex inside her body came out and rich origin energy filled the area. Wang Lin immediately opened his mouth and devoured it. The origin energy that came out from Yao Bingyun's body turned into smoke and was inhaled by Wang Lin. After the origin energy entered his body, Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly and his complexion became slightly red. His origin soul quickly absorbed the origin energy he devoured from Yao Bingyun. Time slowly passed and the sun slowly appeared outside the cave. The light from the sun landed on the ground, dispersing the coldness of the night and creating a sense of warmth. Inside the cave, Yao Bingyun landed on the ground. When the sun landed on her, it made a very gorgeous sight. At this moment, Yao Bingyun gave off an indescribable sense of beauty, but there was a hint of sadness within this beauty. Wang Lin's origin soul had worked through the entire night. He had devoured the origin energy like crazy and turned it into his own. During this process, his origin soul's injury gradually healed. By the time the sun rose, his origin soul had recovered. Not only that, but by refining Yao Bingyun's origin energy, his origin soul became even stronger. After spitting out a mouthful of grey gas that drifted out of the cave, Wang Lin opened his eyes. Without any hesitation, he pressed his finger between Yao Bingyun's eyebrows. Origin energy entered Yao Bingyun's body and formed a vortex that continued to absorb the origin energy that was separated from her body. After absorbing all of her origin energy, my cultivation level will increase a lot. Then I will only need to increase my domain to finally enter the second step and reach the Nirvana Scrya stage. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light as he stared at Yao Bingyun. When the vortex reached its limit, he immediately pulled it out. A storm that shocked almost all of the cultivators swept across the all-heaven star system. The huge, fierce beast that massacred countless cultivators had been captured alive by the Thunder Celestial Temple. Very few people knew how it was done, but the result shocked all of the cultivators in the all-heaven star system. At this instant, the fame of the Thunder Celestial Temple had reached its peak. It even surpassed the few families with inheritances from ancient times and became a powerful symbol of the all-heaven star system. Borrowing this storm, the 108 Celestial Title competition officially began. The celestial realm has collapsed and celestials are gone, but there will still be celestials. The celestial titles that the Thunder Celestial Temple will give out will make those people celestials. The families of these 108 people would be considered celestial clans. This was a permanent title. Every celestial during the war against the Alliance star system will be a leader, and their families will get their own cultivation planets. The news of the Thunder Celestial Temple giving celestial titles came out a long time ago, but it was only starting to happen now. This caused all of the cultivators in the all-heaven star system to go crazy. All of the core members of many cultivation families set off. There were too many people contending for the celestial titles, so the Thunder Celestial Temple announced a preliminary round at each of the 4 domains. A messenger from the Thunder Celestial Temple will be sent to select 108 from each domain to compete in the final battle for the titles. The area within 50,000 kilometers of the Thunder Celestial Temple became a peace zone. Anyone who dared to fight within this area would have their family wiped out. The date of the competition was set for 4 months from now. If this news was a storm, then the next thing the Thunder Celestial Temple announced was a heaven-shaking matter. Once the Thunder Celestial Temple has chosen the 108 Celestials, they will open the passage to the Alliance star system. The battle with the Alliance star system will begin. The entire all-heaven star system went into a frenzy. All of the cultivators began to wait for the day they would slaughter their way into the Alliance star system. Dense killing intent filled the all-heaven star system. Wang Lin didn't know any of this. He had already been in closed-door cultivation for the past 10 days. During these 10 days, he had been constantly absorbing the origin energy inside Yao Bingyun. He continued to refine and absorb Yao Bingyun's vast amount of origin energy. Slowly but surely, that origin energy became his own. To Wang Lin, Yao Bingyun was like a very good elixir that made his cultivation level slowly rise. Yao Bingyun had a lot of origin energy. After 10 days, Wang Lin had only absorbed 30%. After refining and absorbing 30% of Yao Bingyun's origin energy, Wang Lin's cultivation took a step and reached the peak of the corporeal yang stage. He was only 1 step away from the Nirvana Scrya stage. However, this step was like a gulp. It wasn't he was lacking origin energy, he was missing his comprehension of the heavens and a change in his domain. The domain of karma is much more mysterious than life and death. I can't seem to figure it out, karma. Karma, while Wang Lin pondered, his eyes revealed a trace of confusion. Nothing in the world can escape karma. Karma is everywhere, but all of this is only an illusion. When I want to grasp the truth, everything is shrouded in mist. As Wang Lin refined Yao Bingyun's origin energy, he let out a breath. Then his eyes fell on Yao Bingyun. Karma. When I obtained the heaven-defying bead, it was the karmic cause, and encountering Sichu Nan was the karmic effect. Killing Teng Li was the karmic cause and Teng Huiyuan killing my family was the karmic effect. Similarly, Teng Huayon's action was the karmic cause and me slaughtering the Teng clan was the karmic effect. It seems that karmic cause and karmic effect intersect. Perhaps a karmic effect today will become a karmic cause for someone else tomorrow. Wang Lin frowned and the confusion in his eyes became even stronger. The karma domain contained too much, and to this day, Wang Lin still didn't fully understand it. This was different from the life and death domain that he could clearly comprehend. The comprehension of domain can't be forced. Without the proper opportunity, it is incredibly difficult to comprehend. Wang Lin let out a sigh and gave up thinking about karma. Although it sounds simple, it was extremely difficult to truly be enlightened. I finally understand why cultivation level becomes so difficult to increase after a certain point. Origin energy has something to do with it, But what's more important is one's comprehension. Wang Lin revealed a bitter smile. How do I increase my karma domain? This comprehension is indeed difficult. No matter how much I understand it, it is all illusory and not real. How do I make my understanding of karma become real? Wang Lin let out a sigh. He told himself not to think about it, but he could not help but ponder. Back then in the demon spirit land, with the help of ancient demon Bei Luo, I was able to enter a mysterious state and figure out the flaw with the celestial slaughter art. As Wang Lin muttered this, his eyes narrowed. Under that state, I was vaguely able to see through all the Tao of the world. I split into countless clones and then fused into one. It was very similar to when the All-Seer was teaching me a spell. Wang Lin's eyes became brighter and brighter. The All-Seer's Tao is the Tao of the heavens. In his divine sense, there were countless All-Seers. Every single All-Seer was only good at one celestial spell. With my cultivation back then, I could only see that, but in retrospect, not only did every single All-Seer have their own celestial spell, they each had their own, different Tao. Wang Lin's expression changed as he was shocked by his own idea. He took a deep breath as he recalled his memories of what happened inside the All-Seer. The more he thought, the more certain he became in his idea. The All-Seer have many Taos. How did he obtain so many Taos? Wang Lin's eyes shined and he recalled what his first celestial guard told him before being refined. I saw Master All-Seer take Sun Yun and devour him. Master completely devoured Sun Yun. Wang Lin closed his eyes. After a short while, he suddenly opened his eyes and revealed a decisive gaze as he stared at Yao Bingyun. He muttered, "The Tao of karma is too illusory. According to the third step I saw, all of the heavens Tao must return to their true origin. I don't know what the origin of the karma Tao is, but in order to make my domain corporeal, I need to devour. Devouring another's domain to comprehend their domain's karma. Understand their domain, then converting it into my own karma domain." Wang Lin's eyes became cold as he pressed his finger between Yao Bingyun's eyebrows. This video will end here.